Ready, set, spaghetti. Here we are. Hello, everybody. We're back.
Greetings, apocalypse nerds. So, you walk out of the building to get some air, and there you go. Walk right into your new friends. So, Metropolis, standing there looking expectant. The other two looking kind of nervous. Brentwood has a gun. I mean, they all have guns, but Brentwood has his out. It's an assault rifle. And Burns, she looks curious. That's the general state. So they kind of wait. Like, there's a, moment. Do you say anything? If nobody says anything, Biz will say something.
Just be like, hello.
Welcome back.
It's good to see you again.
She kind of looks at you like, God, I wish I wasn't an NPC so I could read you. And she says, I think she just cocks an eyebrow at you, and you say again, and she's like, looks at nothing. What are you doing here, Gritch?
I'm returning with something that's broken. This little toy of yours.
God, she's so on edge because she doesn't know how much you know, and so she's just not sure how to handle you right now. You can feel that, and I think her tension is what's making Brentwood so antsy. And Burns, she's just being like, yes, more weird things for me to examine. So Metropolis says, where are your friends?
Some of them are here. If you're talking about Frankie, she's off doing something else.
I was more curious about Navarre.
Of course.
Things seem to go well with Mercer's Hold.
You can call it that.
Mission accomplished. Where's Mercer now?
Dead.
She turns to Burns, and Burns is like, see, I told you. Metropolis looks back at you. We were wondering what would happen.
Well, it's a good thing you didn't have to get your hands dirty.
Shows how little you know, Gritch.
Yes, I took care of it. Trying to get to the bottom of something that's going on in this one, and I point at nothing. And I discovered that you'd been messing with him.
She's like, that's an infantile way of putting it. And you can see when you say that Burns is personally hurt, messing with. Come on. I put a lot of work into that shit.
Well, he's in a bit of a state now. And if you want him to be useful again, you're going to have to help me fix him.
So you plan on sticking around?
For now.
She looks at Burns, and Burns she's got a shoulder bag. She takes a pill bottle out of it and throws it to you.
I'm just like, YOLO! Pop the pill.
Okay. All right.
And I pass it to Biz.
Sure. So as you take the pill, and as it sets in, it counteracts the effects of the forgetting aura that they have.
Mm-hmm.
So you'll remember them and everything that you do while you're here, as long as you take the pills. So yeah, I think Burns says that to you, don't forget to take them. You're gonna need one every couple hours. You might get a headache. It'll pass.
Don't forget to take the remembering pills. I see what you did there.
Yeah.
I'm like, this is my associate Biz, who you may have met before.
Biz is just looking back and forth like he's watching a tennis match while you and Metropolis talk, and then he's just like, hey, I'm Biz. So Metropolis says, "You want to come upstairs?"
Of course.
Okay. And so you walk back into the school, and you notice none of them put on masks or like all that stuff. Just they don't even bother.
Yeah.
And Biz is like, I think Biz probably says like, "Hey, what about like that mold looks pretty dangerous?" And Bren was just like, "Shut up, man. It's fine." It's like, okay, fine, assholes, whatever. Cool. Okay. So back in Fishertown, what is Frankie up to, and what is Navari doing?
I think they're gearing up, resupplying, getting everything ready. Frankie plans to refuel, and once everything's set and restocked, we're gonna go back onto the ocean.
Okay.
I think I'm carving things into my new gun because we have a lot of stuff that I haven't written down in a while, and it's new
Okay.
real estate.
Cool. Okay, I want to have a scene where you're doing that, and I think like, are you just like out on the boat or like somewhere in the
Yeah.
no?
Yeah.
Okay.
Totally.
All right. So maybe it's like in the morning, and I think Judas comes to like find you, and maybe she's looking for Frankie, but stumbles on you, and sees you like working on your gun, and is like, asks you straight up, like, "What are you doing there?"
Just making it match. And I point like at my armor.
That's interesting. Where did you learn those symbols from?
Just made it up.
It's sort of like what we do here with the record. It helps you remember?
Yep.
That's very interesting. Can I take a closer look?
She's on the dock and I'm on the boat.
Yeah, you were standing like
She keep wanting to get on the damn boat.
she's standing outside of like comfort range. Like it's very polite distance.
Yeah.
So she's asking like, "Can I come over there and take a look?" Because you can see the symbols, but not like, with any detail.
I say no. It's not it's a little, it's my record. You can stay on the dock. We've been over this before.
She says, "It must be hard, Navari, living the way you do, without being able to trust anyone. I'd be lonely if I were you."
Good thing you're not me.
Yeah, good thing. And then she
I
leaves.
smile.
Human repulsion shield active. Okay.
She doesn't bother me at all. I have
Yeah.
no. These I don't. It's like
I figured.
I equate it to like the way elves are to humans. In D&D, like you just
Right, so you're just
you just
better.
They're
don't-
also short-lived and fragile.
Yeah, your lives are short-lived and fragile, and I see the world from a different place than they all do.
Navari is
I'm
real.
Sure.
I love playing elves. That's my favorite thing to
Get
do.
away from me, you stinky humans. Return to your pale kingdom. All right. Cool. Yeah, I think she's surprised. She's like, "Okay, well, we were just trying to... Whatever, you murderous dick." Yeah, so she leaves. And maybe this is when, like, Frankie, you and Satan show up. Because I think Satan has been, like, having meetings with you, like, occasionally, just talking to you about, like, the boat and your plans. And, like, Satan is taking, like, a personal interest in you.
Yeah.
And so maybe you two are having one of these talks. Like, you walk around the boats together and talk. And so the two of you approach the boat. And have you told Satan that you're planning on leaving?
Yeah, I think maybe I've probably told Satan my plan in general, because I'm feeling like I can trust them, and it kind of it impacts them to some degree. So I guess we've discussed the idea that I'm going to go out. Navari has proven herself on several occasions as a capable psychic scout, I guess you could call it.
Yeah, navigator.
Yeah, so we're gonna take a pass around the Fisher's waters and like see if we can like clear the area to make sure that they're safe as our first priority. See if there's some kind of encroaching badness that we might have to deal with, and if not, then we're gonna move on, and that's gonna be our thing now. Like we're gonna slowly reach out further and continue hunting these problems, but kind of always kind of like keeping the Fishers as our home base. And
yeah, and I think that, and maybe this is the conversation you're having now, but I think that Satan's opinion is like, you're doing all this work for the Fishers, but like you should join us, like be one of us, join, like be written into the record. You deserve it. Like you're doing all this hard work. Like be remembered, Frankie. Like take credit for your hard work. And maybe that's like the conversation you're having as you approach the boat. And you run into Judas, who looks. She's actually like she's like trying to look like she wasn't just crying, and she's like running away from the boat. And Satan just kind of like watches her go and looks at you like, that was odd.
It's funny because, like, personally, like, I'm kind of, like, sad that she feels that way. And, like, I, as Stephanie, would go and, like, make sure that that was not what I was saying. And I didn't really want you to feel bad. I just don't want you here, kind of a thing. But Navari's like, I don't give a shit.
Stupid emotions.
Yeah, they don't exist.
Well, go have a feeling, human.
Well, I have one emotion. It's called anger or rage.
Yeah. So Satan says to you as you approach, it would break my heart if anything happened to you and you were unremembered. You're too important, and I can't just put you in the record myself. There's rules for these things. You understand. Jesus would be very upset.
Jesus is always getting butthurt over something.
True. Jesus is totally a prima donna.
Frankie, she kind of shakes her head because Satan's been hard selling, joining, not super hard, but as they've been talking, it's always a constant thing. So she hasn't kept saying like, not now, I'll think about it. She just kind of like shakes her head, and there's a little bit of affection there. She touches him on the shoulder.
I think so. This time, like when you put your hand on Satan's shoulder, like it's cold out right now. There's like wind and rain, and this time, instead of being like inside where it was all claustrophobic before and Satan was all up in your business, this time it's actually kind of like a pleasant warmth. It's like there's the heat that Satan emits is like it warms you in a way. Satan like kind of like nods to you, and you can tell that they're really like listening to you.
I don't deny them and say no, but I also don't put him off again. I just kind of have that gesture, and I say, okay, we'll only be gone for a day or so. We can talk more when we get back.
They nod.
Would you say you're warming up to the idea?
Yeah. So Satan stays on the dock to like see you off.
Can I'd like to read Satan one more time. Is that all right?
Sure. Yeah.
I feel like enough time has passed, maybe.
Definitely. Yeah, this is a different thing. Satan is an open book.
This interaction felt like it had a different tone.
Yeah.
What's Satan really feeling about Frankie?
Satan wants you to stay because Satan trusts you. In part because you're like competent and they asked you to do something important. When, remember, nobody really believed Satan, right? Satan was just like, I'm having these weird dreams. Someone has to deal with this problem. But you were like, no, that's fucking serious. I will do that thing, right? You were on Satan's side before the conclave even happened. And so Satan is like, wow, someone like listened to me and like took me seriously. And I think that really affected them.
And vice versa to some degree too. Like, Frankie wanted to get out there and do something and make a difference, and Satan was like, "Yeah, that's what I want you to do."
Yeah.
So there's definitely a mutual feeling there.
Yep.
Let me look at the questions here. I'm vaguely recalling one that I want to ask. Right. So we've been talking. Maybe I just know this, or I can pick it up. What does Satan intend to do? Called the War Council. We did the thing. That part's over. Like, what's Satan's like next move? I guess. And with the
they're gonna need to start, like what you were saying, like, and I think the two of you have had this conversation. They want to start going out on patrol and like defending the water aggressively because they're afraid someone is going to come and try and take it away. So they're like, yep, this boat is the new flagship. We're gonna start doing like more military action, more patrols. And part of that, the practical part, is part of why they want you to stick around, because that's your life. That's what you do. You drive your boat around looking for danger. And they want to expand. And there's been some talk about occupying Mercer's Hold as like a front position.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
It might be time to move beyond the waters.
Interesting. All right. So we're definitely on the same page then.
Yeah.
Yeah, Frankie and Satan, man. I'm shipping that.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'll just hold on to my last question.
Okay.
So yeah, we board and get the engine started and head out on our first sweep.
So would we have this is, I guess, a meta question, but like the little red that's in the Fisher circle, is that something that like we maybe are aware of because or do they know it's weird?
Well, why don't you roll plus your sharp for me to see what you have heard while you're in the hold? Because Frankie's been doing stuff, but you've kind of just been like around, absorbing. Yeah. You spent a bunch of time in the market.
What am I doing? Cool.
This is Navarre reading the situation?
Yeah, sort of. And asking, I mean, by default, what you're asking me is what should I look out for in regards to stuff going on. You can ask me more questions if you want to, or clarifying stuff. But yeah, I mean, I think that there's a general tension about, like, you know, going out and attacking a hold is not something that the Fisher clans do, right? They farm the waters, they feed people, and by the grace of the bountiful waters, they're protected because they're the ones that have been chosen for this task. But everything's kind of coming apart, right? Like, you're going out and raiding this other hold, and they came back with like a big scary boat, which has been all retrofitted, and like there's a lot of stuff changing, and people are kind of worried about that. You hear a story about a girl, Zion Fisher. She is just like set off on her own. She decided not to get married right away, but she's an adult, so she like, you know, got a boat that somebody else wasn't using and repaired it herself, and like has gone out and been doing some fishing and stuff. And she was gone for a while, like, because you guys have been at this for a bit. You've been here or back at the hold, like preparing. Like a week or so has passed. She was gone for a few days and came back, and somebody was saying, maybe you were like eating in the market or something, you overheard this conversation. Somebody who knows her was like, yeah, and when she came back, she was different somehow. Like she seemed like better, because she was, you know, she was having some hard times before, but like, you know, and so these are like tweaking things in your brain. They're like, sounds familiar.
Interesting.
Yeah, so you heard that like story about this girl Zion.
So yeah, before we set off, I definitely relay that information to Frankie and suggest that we go and see.
I think Frankie is very impressed. Like, you can tell when she gets back on the boat and she's about to tell you like kind of what she talked to Satan about and what her plan is, and you're like, you relay like the exact thing she needs to know.
Yeah.
She kind of like, it's very, she doesn't hide her reaction. She's kind of like very impressed that Navari is like intelligence gathering and like on top of the situation.
Unintentionally, totally. I was just eating.
Yeah, exactly. Like, it seems super casual. You're like, oh, by the way.
Yeah.
But like, you can see it on her face. Like, she's like, whoa, okay, Navari is awesome.
Navari, did you do any follow up? Like, did you ask any questions, or because you still have two? You can ask me two more things.
Sure. Let me look at the thingy because I always forget. Sharp. So was I reading a situation?
You read the situation, okay. Yeah, the general situation of the.
What's the best way in to see this person? I guess. I guess, yeah. Or like, where is she? I guess is what I asked.
She's out fishing now.
Oh, okay.
She has a little spot of water that she fishes. I mean, I could describe where it is to you, but you could just look at the map.
Sure.
Yeah. So like northeast of where the northeast of where the waters are, like where you are, where Fishertown is, you can.
So someone is in the circle, essentially.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. And then let me look again. I guess I don't know if I have another question, because you said that she was independent, which means killing her isn't going to necessarily cause problems. I guess.
Jesus Christ, Navari. She doesn't have any friends, so if we kill her, nobody will be mad.
I guess my concern is, what are the fishers going to do if they find out that we killed her?
She is a fisher, and a non-fisher killing a fisher is a bad time. They will not like that very much. You'll have to find a very strong way of proving you had a reason. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
That's gonna be
obvious. She was getting her life back on track, so we had to kill her.
Exactly.
That's our rule. That's if things start to get better, it's got to be destroyed.
Yeah.
Interesting. So yeah, I relay all this to Frankie, and I guess I'm not really concerned with the killing and doing it. It's more, I think Frankie probably needs to decide a plan of some sort.
Yeah, like when you relay all that you know where she went and that it's a fisher who might be the nexus or whatever we're calling them. that definitely, like, she tries not to let it show on her face that is a real big concern. She's just like, okay, that's great. I talked to Satan, and we're going to have some steady work here for a little while, Navari. We're going to patrol around, and we find others like Mercer. We're going to take them out. We're going to make sure that the fishers, I was going to say land, the fishers territory. We're going to make sure what happened at Mercer's doesn't happen here.
Okay.
All right. You think you can point the way to where Zion's going?
Oh, yeah. So I need to open my brain.
Show us the way to Zion.
Is it... I get XP every time I roll one of these things, or only when I fail? Okay, cool.
Nope, every time.
Cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll just go back and check after.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that's a good point. You can just like scroll back and look at all the time.
I did it earlier. I just didn't write it down because I wasn't sure. Okay.
Okay. So the maelstrom will give you an unclear path. All right. So here's the thing. The maelstrom will guide you towards Zion, but what's waiting there is just for you. It's not for Frankie. It's not for the boat. You're being called to Zion just for you, Navarre. Like this is for you. And whether you have a way to like, it's like the sound of like, and I don't know, maybe this is a thing. Maybe this feeling, because we've been talking about this, how like Gritch can do that, where he can yank up like childhood memories and stuff. Maybe you get a feeling of like it getting dark, right? And you're like out in a field somewhere, maybe. And you're a kid. You're like playing in a field, and you notice it getting dark, and you hear like a parent like calling to you, being like, "Time to come in," from the distance, and like there's this feeling of like safety, like you're going back home, and there's going to be like food and care and shit waiting for you there. So you get that. That's the feeling. You're like you're that sense.
Baby Navarre with like 6-pack and muscles at like 6 years old.
tiny muscle bound toddler.
Cool. So
maybe that's the thing. Like, do you want to? What does that look like? Like, let's just make it literally like a memory of childhood Navarre. What does the kid look like? What's the space you're in?
Sure. I think it's like a field, like you said, but there's some rocks that I'm like hiding behind and blowing up fireworks that I've made. Like made Piccolo Pete's into a cantaloupe bomb. I did that once as a child, by the way. Nice. Actually, I think I was an adult. I was in high school. Anyway, yeah, like packing fireworks into bigger fireworks and trying to make things explode and setting off tiny little explosions while like weightlifting rocks. And then yeah, my mother, who is, I don't know if she has a face at all. It's just a sound of a voice.
Yeah, it's a feeling for sure.
So, and I run back.
Okay.
That's so good.
Yeah.
I love the purity of it. It's like
I haven't changed.
Sometimes the end of the world changes people, and some people are too tough to be changed by it.
I was made for this world.
Yeah, we're just waiting for the world to end to have their moment.
Yep. Totally. But yeah, so and I at that point, I guess I have to tell Frankie that I need to go. Like, I don't know how we would do that. I have to get another boat.
Yeah.
Wait, what now?
Yeah. I have to express to you that I need to go find her without you. I don't know why, though. I opened my brain. Do we talk about the maelstrom openly like this? I don't.
I don't think you have.
Haven't.
Rich talks about it.
But she knew I was navigating, so
sure.
Yeah. Maybe I say, navigate when I tried to navigate it, it was clear that I have to go without you. And I don't know why.
Are you sure you're feeling all right?
I mean, it's weird. I don't know. I don't know.
But you can tell where Zion is.
Yeah.
I think we should go together, Navarre.
I think you may not be able to. But I don't know.
I don't know. I think you might have to convince Frankie. He's not quite ready to go along with this idea. I mean,
I think
he thinks maybe you're a little confused, and she wants to go with you to make
that's
sure
hot,
okay.
right?
So.
Mm-hmm.
I can't believe I actually succeeded.
Poor Frankie getting super manipulated.
Yeah, just a little.
So what's your leverage here? Is it like
Well, I was thinking something along the lines of like, maybe we go together as close as I feel like we can, and then it's not far, so you should be able to see me still.
Okay, yeah, that's all right. I'll accept that promise for sure.
So
Yeah.
we just, and then the only thing is we got to try to borrow a boat, a second boat.
We actually have that little. We didn't specifically say this, but we had the little runabout that.
Oh yes.
Somebody died who was helping us. Abraham
died. Yeah.
She got killed in the runabout.
Oh, okay.
So I want to say the runabout got killed.
I thought the runabout
did it?
With her in. I think it got cannoned. Yeah.
Yes, that was my recollection of it.
I don't remember that. So. Can we borrow a boat from Satan?
Or do you just have like a little life raft or something? Like it doesn't have to be much of a boat to get you this little.
That's true.
Yeah, we definitely have like a little dinghy thing, like
with a little motor or something.
Plates, like it's like an emergency raft or something.
So I'll take that. That's fine. Yeah. I'll leave my knife. If it's a raft, I'll make sure my knife is not pointing down. My big ass knife.
You're right. So yeah, if your counter proposal is like, no, you can take me out there, but I just need to get to her on my own. Frankie's like really like still kind of like, okay, I'm willing to go along with this for now, but I'm gonna go with you. She doesn't like the sound of this, but she's not really worried for you exactly. You can take care of yourself.
Yeah.
Just like as usual.
Yeah.
she wants something clear to do, and it's like kind of not super clear. So yeah, we'll do the normal thing. You'll go out on the prow and like lead the vixen there, and then if you need to go to the thing by yourself, actually, I'll be very specific here. Frankie agrees to it right now. It's like a provisional thing. She's like, okay, we'll go out there and then you can do the thing on your own. But it's just a promise. It's not a.
Yes.
She might change her mind. But
yeah, I mean that's all I need is that we at least initiate. So.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
All right. So you head out that direction. And very quickly find yourself in a thick bank of fog. And while Frankie, you can only really see like the fog itself and some of the like buildings that kind of jut up around it. Navarre, you can actually see like bright, colorful lights through the fog. So as you move through it, you're passing by what look like carnival rides. So there's like the edge of a roller coaster that comes up out of the water and then sinks back down. And to you can see the lights along the edge of it. And you approach, you can see in the distance through the fog a boat that's just like floating there. And it's tethered to the wide metal arc of a Ferris wheel with like one of the little like holders like floating back and forth. Mm-hmm. And for you, again, you can see these sort of ghost lights hanging off all this stuff in bright colors. But Frankie, for you, it's all just like rusted and dark and gray. And the boat mysteriously the engine just cuts when you get within about, I don't know, like 100 meters or so. And you watch the fuel gauge just go and just drop to zero. And then the boat just like drifts forward and slowly loses momentum. And you can see there's a light on in the cabin on Zion's boat.
Frankie can see the cabin too.
Yeah, you can both see the cabin light.
So she drops the anchor, and I mean, I guess she like checks it, and it's like totally dead. Like nothing happens with the boat, right? Yeah. So she drops the anchor and then walks out on deck and looks at Navarre like.
I think this is where I need to go from here.
Seriously?
And you can see, Frankie, you can see the shadow of someone moving around in the cabin. And you're not sure, but it looks like they're like making food. Your mouth like starts to salivate a little bit. So what do you want to do?
I gesture at Navaria's hunting rifle. To kind of like, all right, hand it over.
Yeah, I give it to you for sure.
Okay.
I check it and make sure the scope's clear, rack around into it. I get up on the prow, like, all right, I'm going to cover you. Go. You got to do what you got to do.
So yeah, I get in the boat.
Okay.
And paddle away.
Cool.
It's partially like I'm fulfilling my promise to Navari, and it's partially like we're not both getting in the dinghy and leaving the Vixen dead in the water here. So it's
totally.
a little bit of yeah.
And is kind of forced in the matter.
Yeah, exactly.
Cool. Yeah, so maybe that's the last thing that we see before the end of the episode is like Frankie, like you're like looking kind of like nervously around as Navarre goes off alone into the fog towards the boat, towards Zion. Okay, cool.
Nice.
Good stuff.
That was
fun. Let's do Hex updates.
Yay.
Gritch. Who knows Gritch better or worse?
I mean, Frankie must.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Frankie, you know Gritch a little better. Frankie, who knows you better or worse?
Actually, sorry, I redact my statement. Navarre knows me less well.
I was gonna say, I think I know you less.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I think that's more appropriate.
Down to 1 then? You just remove 1, right?
Yeah,
minus 1.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I was gonna count my rolls.
I'm gonna give Gritch -1, I think. I think the dynamic, like, I've been kind of willing to go along with Gritch when it comes to weird stuff, and this was the time when Frankie was just like, no.
Nope.
Not this time.
Not this time. And maybe you were counting on that, and it just
would have been nice.
Just not the way that you thought she was. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're just like rolling with Satan now. You know, you leave Gritch aside.
Gotta say, pretty happy with Satan.
Satan is my girlfriend now. All right, Navarre.
I mean, I think what are you asking me?
Who knows you better or worse?
Frankie.
Yeah,
for sure.
Frankie knows you better. Cool.
Sweet.
It's good. There was a good moment of like trust there, where like you guys both had the
also.
Yeah, and you had the whole like I'm doing like smart stuff. I didn't just kill people or lift weights. Like I found things out. Look, I'm competent, which I think rolled over into that next like you got to trust me. I need to do this alone. Part.
So she raises hers, right? Not me.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, let's do end of show stuff. I'm gonna go start that Reddit thread.
Yes. Cool. Well, I'll start because it's likely that we might not have a show next week, and that's my fault. So I am out of town, so I apologize. We will let you know for sure on social media. We also, as always, will be having Post-Apocalypse World tomorrow, and Adam, I'm sure, will also talk about the fact that we are starting a new show tomorrow, right? Yeah, okay, good. I was pretty sure we are. Check out Roll20 app on Twitter, and that's the best place to be up to date with all of this information. And if you want to support me, my Twitter's right here. Follow me. I talk about being hot and cats. And that's kind of about it.
Who wouldn't want to follow
hot and cats?
I complain and I had pictures of cats. Yeah, I'm good. What about you, Andrew?
You guys can follow me on Twitter at Commuting Crow. I will be in the show on Friday, which I'm really excited for. We're going to be playing the Burning Wheel, which is a really excellent game. Can't wait to play it. Character creation especially is very rad, so I'm stoked for that. Yeah.
Coolio. Straw poll is down, evidently, so this might take me a little longer. I'll post the Q&A and then I'll update it with the links. John, do you want to tell us things?
I'll tell you things. So first of all, I'm sad that I won't be in Burning Wheel, but as a viewer, I am super stoked to watch it. Can't wait. It's going to be really fun. I will once again give a shout out to my buddy Paul. His Kickstarter game right now, Undying, super cool vampire RPG. I'll throw it in chat and post a link. One fun thing that Adam mentioned in the Apocalypse World game today was how Navari had like wrecked his relationship map with all the murders from the boat assault, and Undying actually has a really fun mechanic in the quick start. One of the starting scenarios is the Great Seattle Fire. So the game starts with the whole city burning, and you draw the relationship map of all the vampires and how they're connected, and then the GM drops a bunch of tokens on the map, and whichever NPC gets the most tokens landed on them, they just die in the fire. So it creates this great dynamic, kind of like what Navari did. It like takes the normal relationship stuff and just breaks it all apart and creates a fun kicker situation. So yeah, that's kind of what Undying's like. If you want to check it out, it's pretty cool. And you can follow me on Twitter and all the stuff.
I'm furiously copy pasting. Come on, keyboard, go! Because I wanted to get it done, but now I did it. Okay, it's good.
Nice.
So yeah, all that madness was just me creating the thread on reddit.com/r/roll20. That is the Q&A for the episode. So if you have questions about what's going on in Apocalypse World, what's happening in the campaign, questions for me or the rest of the cast, you can jump over there and post it. I'll post it again on Twitter, so you can follow me there at Skinny Ghost, or as Avison said, follow the Roll20 app Twitter. We constantly retweet each other. Lots of crossfire there. Tomorrow at 11 in the morning, my time, 11 Pacific, Post-Apocalypse World, it's going to be an awesome one, because if you've been watching the ones before, there's something that happened in this episode, and I didn't even do it, that is so perfect, I couldn't have made it better had I planned it. Like, there was a thing in this episode, and I was just like, oh my God, thank you. Thank you so much for making that happen for me. I'm
How
super
awesome.
So it'll be a good one. And then I will just be playing video games during the day on my Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Adam Coble. And then we're right back here at 5 p.m. Pacific for the Burning Wheel, which, if you know anything about me, is a game that I love. So
Excite.
you can come check that out. That'll be a new campaign. We are doing, no shit, 4 hours of world building and character creation, because big deal part of Burning Wheel. So come check that out. And as always, all of the videos, if you've missed anything, Post-Apocalypse World, any of this, the prep stuff, whatever, it's all on YouTube, MS Roll20. Go check that out.
Yep.
That's it for me. I am done.
Awesome.
Apocalypse World.
Woo! All right, everybody. Thank you for hanging out. Have a wonderful day, and we will see you soon.
Bye, everybody.